Welcome back to Petrolblog's rubbish YouTube channel. Hope you're well. This is an impromptu video. Battery's running low. I've got about 25% battery, and I've spent the morning. It's now about 2 o'clock, 2:30. Spent the morning with ace photographer Simon Thompson shooting a Volvo 262C for Classic Retro Modern, issue 31 of Classic Retro Modern. So you can read all about it on there. And the shoot just happened to be very close to the whereabouts of two potentially very special cars. Now, in the interest of transparency, I was here briefly this morning at 10 o'clock. This entire estate is in the hands of a solicitor, and Mike, friend of the show, friend of the mag, friend of the channel, basic friend, Mike, has given me first refusal on a pair of old Volvos. And apart from a couple of photographs, this is the first day I've seen them. So I briefly popped up here at 10 o'clock this morning to meet the solicitor, who showed me where the cars are. And now I've come back to, well, basically to show you what I showed this morning and maybe do a bit more digging. I discovered this morning that these cars, well, at least one of them, hasn't been on the road since 1992. They've been sat in this double garage, and the signs aren't great. So when you walk in here, you can see, well, it's a very early 144, so pre-facelift. These is a pair, the other one's lurking in the background, these pair of Sleeping Beauties. There's another one over there. They're both 1968, and you can tell they're early. And Volvo people, please let me know in the comments, but I don't know, I think around about 1970, maybe a bit early, a bit later, but they're automatics and they have column change, and I believe around about 1970 they went to stick on the floor. Please let me know in the comments. I mean, I will check it when I get home anyway, but let me know in the comments if I'm correct in that. So there's an opportunity for me. Yeah, that's probably the least of its problem, but you need to push the door handle back up. Opportunity for me to drag these out of retirement and put them back on the road. First thing I noticed this morning is going to need a call to auto windscreens. By the way, apologies if this sounds more rubbish than usual. I got no excuse really. Where was I? Yeah, so an opportunity to put these back on the road. When I first saw Mike's photographs, this was the first photograph I saw here, and I thought that the suspension had collapsed at the back. Turns out it hasn't, but the bodywork is as bad as I figured it might be. Well, you can see the other guy. I thought this was the worst of the two, but if I tell you right now that this is the better of the two, that gives you some indication of how bad the other one is. Like I say, they're both automatics, both column change, both 1968, both G plates, and I know for a fact this one's been in here since 1992. That's when it was last taxed. This garage door does open, but I think I've got to do it from the outside. So I've just released it, so let's just go around. What do you think of the 262? Love or hate? What do you reckon? Right, so garage door is open, and there is Noddy in all its glory. And the reason I knew it was 1992 or thereabouts, if I can open the boot, is there is a Daily Mail from 1992 with a Suzuki Swift cover, and also an Observer magazine from March 92. There are some tapes as well. Linda Goodman's Sun Signs. There are a lot of delights in here. I mean, these are brilliant, aren't they? Scotch tapes. Yeah, it's... I mean, one thing you can't tell is how smelly. The damp smell is overpowering. Spoiler alert, roof on the other garage has seen better days. but because the roof on this one's intact, the underneath, surprisingly, is in reasonably good order. Now, if I find a bit of cardboard, when I get underneath, I can't show you properly, but it's solid. It is unbelievably solid underneath. Door's finally come back to life. That door was stiff earlier on. Look, I'm not sitting here in denial that this needs a shed load of work that's probably beyond me, but unbelievably, it's solid. It has done 81,000 miles. I mean, look at that dashboard. Look at that display. Can't be doing 30 miles an hour, which is slightly worrying. In park, found it in neutral, which I suppose is not a bad thing. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful interior. It's the early dashboard as well, so the pre-facelift dashboard. The radio's all over there, which isn't particularly safety conscious. Like I say, the damp smell is overpowering, but it screams potential, doesn't it? Does it scream potential? Am I being stupid? Look at the handbrake, by the way. Good news, the handbrake's off. Bad news is it's obviously stuck. Original mats. Apologies for the lighting. Look at those beautiful dials. Temperature, defrost and floor. Cigarette lighter. Well, I was going to say, that's been so well used, it's basically broken. Love these period door lights, parking light things. And this door opens better. I mean, the good news is, for example, if I leave cardboard in one of the barns at home for about a couple of months, it goes damp. This is not damp. None of these pieces of cardboard are damp. Bits missing, and surround of the door handles missing. Would that be in the ashtray? That's missing. Obviously the bodywork isn't great. Sorry, I'm not very good at these videos. I'm not Johnny Smith. I'm having to pick my way around lots of detritus. And obviously this side has been exposed more to the element. Look at that period car alarm. Let's hope that car alarm's not on there anymore, because that's going to, well, again, hang on. No, for a moment now I thought that tree was growing up through the garage. It's not. Good news. Yeah, so we'll come on to that one in a minute. But because this side's been slightly exposed to the elements, you'll see that the drainage channel is rusty as hell. Isn't doing much drainage. I mean, I'm being very naive and I'm being very optimistic when I say this, but, and I haven't gone underneath, and I'm not wearing the right clothes to go underneath properly, but the first signs aren't that bad, and this is the one I figured was only good for parts, and I could be right. By the way, look, I could be wrong. It looks like the owner, maybe not, no, I don't know. I'm thinking that's the owner put that there to protect the doors. Could be wrong. Now I don't think there's many of these early column change 144s left. Could be, again, I could be wrong. I've said that a lot, haven't I? I'll go in the bonnet in a minute. But I mean, there is mould, obviously. But again, not as bad as I would imagine. It's actually a very lovely deep blue, and I can show you why I know it's a lovely deep blue. In the boot, it's underneath the boot here. Look at that, beautiful. This is what it used to look like. So, I mean, there are all kinds of bits and pieces in here, and eventually it would be nice to get everything out and really inspect it, get it inspected properly. That is the next step. When I've got more battery, when I'm wearing appropriate clothes, and when I've got people with me, we'll come back and do a proper inspection. But first impressions of Noddy aren't that bad. Things aren't so good next door. Things are, I would say, pretty terminal. I don't want to spend too much time in here. I've made it worse by putting what I thought was a tree stump in the way. So I didn't spend much time in here earlier, but what I did discover horrified me, because in the initial, well, the first thing that horrified me, ooh, yeah, fortunately it's vacant, but oh my god, it's enough to give me the heebie-jeebies. So I am disturbing so many spiders right now, and let's get this out. It'd be easy to get in. If this is out. Hello, Noddy. Never name anything. It's the worst thing you can do. Right, so this is obviously a lighter blue. It's not just sun-bleached, sun-bleached in the sunshine, and goodness knows how long this roof has been down. Genuinely don't know. The boot will not open. But what's killed this one, and I genuinely mean killed, because it is dead, is the lack of roof. Your first sign is here, where your inner arch, or your inner liner, has gone, sadly. But it gets worse, because I can basically, anything, well, these came out of the boot earlier, so I pulled out these from inside the boot, and yeah, an old original day and night advance warning triangle. It looks very old. Lambert and Butler. I mean, I'm in the boot, you can't see that, but my hand is deep, deep, deep into the boot. Bear with me while I sort out my gimbal. My gimbal's getting upset with loads of ivy. I'm in the boot here. Yeah, that's part of the boot mechanism. That's how bad this one is. It gets worse. I mean, it gets a lot worse. Well, I mean, you can't really get much worse than that, but it gets equally as bad as you walk along. it's really sad. It's such a sad thing. Here's the arch, here's the sills, and my hand is inside the car. I am just helping myself to pieces of floor. It's obviously, this is the rustiest car I've seen. It's such a shame. I mean, the problem is the roof's been off so long that, well, you can see, I mean, it's turned into a jungle in here, and so obviously you've created a jungle floor and then water coming in from above. It's just the worst possible scenario for a car. I'm almost frightened to open the door because I think the structure of the garage roof is being held up by the roof. Oh, it's such a shame. And the other sad thing is, it's a Devon car. If I can get, there you go. NFJ 581G, a local car. And original reflective plates. It's a real shame. Well, I say it's a real shame I can't get in the boot. I mean, I know what's in the boot because most of it's on the floor, but it's a shame. And this is the one, when Mike sent me the photos, I didn't have many, he sent me a few photos. This is the one, I hate walking past this wasp nest. This is the one I thought I might have a chance. But clearly, it's a parts car at best. I don't want to go in there, so I'm not going to. So I will go in there, just not now. We've got to go in there at some point because it needs to be cleared out. So this is where we are. I have an opportunity of a lifetime. I have an opportunity to rescue Noddy. So, do you care? Should I care? I genuinely do. I have a soft spot for Volvos, as you know. I have a soft spot for anything Swedish. And having driven around in a 262 for a week, I definitely want something Swedish in my life. Should it be this? At the very least, I want to clear everything away. I want to pump the tyres up. We'll just firstly see if it rolls. See if Noddy will roll again. Oh yeah, let's have a look under the engine. I've opened the bonnet already earlier on today. It's weird because all this cardboard isn't damp. The cardboard is okay. It's a good sign. Anyway, I absolutely adore this badge. These are clean. To see what that comes up like. So engine bay shot. .2 litre petrol lump. Not touching that until we come back. This is going to make a horrible noise, by the way, but don't worry, it's just the plaster from the roof, etc. Windscreen. If you peer through to the other Sleeping Beauty, there's so much stuff to climb over, by the way, so this is why it's taking a lot longer to do my rubbish videos than normal. Another battery down there. That one has a decent, look at it, that one has a decent windscreen. So at the very least, that might be able to, oh my god, look at, because if I can show you the front wing. There we go. That was a laugh and also a kind of sympathy noise. That wasn't me just bursting out into laughter. It was like, oh, yeah. But I'd go in with a strimmer and find out what's salvageable. This is where we are. So I bought all the ums. So I bought all the R's. Again. Am I mad? At the very least, what I'm going to try and do is find a home. Find a home for this one. Whether I'm the home for this car remains to be seen. Mrs. Major Gav, well, I already know the answer. There isn't a home at home for this. Something would have to give. So if I want to take on this project, which I believe is far beyond my skill set right now, but if I'm to take it on, some cars will have to leave the fleet. So Noddy, what do you reckon? Shall I come back and do another video? Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, thank you for wading through this rubbish. See you on the other side.